Hey folks, welcome back to the Lone Pine Tarot, or welcome to the channel if you are brand new here. For those of you who are viewing the reading on the very day it comes out, and for those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving, well, here are my wishes for a happy, relaxing Thanksgiving to you. As you can tell by the title you just clicked on, our topic today is a little bit of a positivity boost reading, I like to call it. And of course, that is all about what good opportunity will the universe offer you next. So without further ado, let us pick our piles to choose our messages with. We're picking today with flowers. So Spirit, could you please guide us to the right cards to help guide everybody to the right messages today? Thank you. Okay, there's one. There is definitely two. And I'm feeling this one for 3. And let's unveil the cards together. So for pile 1, your card or your flower is Tuberose. For pile 2 here in the middle today, we have Sweet Pea. Make sure that is nice and even. There we go. And then last but not least for pile 3, your flower today is Amaryllis. So just a refresher, pile 1, Tuberose, pile 2, Sweet Pea, and pile 3 is Amaryllis. Of course, you're always welcome to pause on this part of the video if you need more time to decide what pile you would like read for you today. But of course, whenever you are ready for your message, drop down to the description box and or the top pinned comment below the video. Click on the timestamp there for your pile, and I'll see you in our little chat about what good opportunity will the universe offer you next. See you there. Hello there, my lovely pile number 1s. Welcome today to your reading about a good opportunity the universe will offer you next. As you recall, your pile leader flower today was the Tuberose with the tagline of dangerous pleasure, and I'll read this quote down here. The secret of reaping the greatest fruitfulness and the greatest enjoyment from life is to live dangerously. So we'll set your pile leader over here to the left next to the pine cone, as is custom. And then we'll draw your tarot and oracle cards on screen right now. So actually first we're going to begin with the Pastoral Tarot. So Spirit, for pile 1 today, for their highest best good, can you please key us into what area of their life this good opportunity the universe will be offering them next is in? Thank you. I'm feeling this one right here, and you received, beautiful, the 9 of Pentacles. So pile 1, this having come out in this particular position, the 9 of Pentacles is all about reaping the fruits from our labor. So you see here there is a woman standing in a vineyard. She has put a lot of time and effort into this garden, into these grapes, right? Lots of water and fertilizer and weeding, things like that. So that is why the 9 of Pentacles is all about fruits of your labor, especially in areas of your life regarding finances or career, because the Pentacle suit is all about earth, which is the material things around us. So if I had to really pin it down to one area, it would be just that, to summarize what I just said. Fruits of your labor, coming out of a lot of work that you put into something, most likely with finances or career. But of course, we're going to glean more details. I have other cards to pick. That was just the first one, but same thing here with your other oracle cards. Let's glean a bit more detail. Move up in my chair here. Okay. This one right here, we have purification with a sunflower. Beautiful. Set that over here. Very interesting. Lots of flowers in yellow is a prominent thing, and of course we associate the color yellow with happiness. Also with light, meaning truth or things revealed. Let's see what else pops out here. We have She Who Listens, Hannah, with understanding, witness, and compassion. And once again, we do have the prominence of a yellow color here, and even the title of the card at the bottom. So that could be a little bit of a synchronicity with you, pile 1. Something with this opportunity has to do with the color yellow because of how prominent it is, right? So just looking at your oracle cards and then the Pastoral Tarot, of course, we will draw other tarot cards here in a second. Like I said, fruits of your labor in an area of finances or career finally coming to fruition. You might have felt recently that there was some part of your career or your life regarding your finances where you've been putting a lot of effort in, and it almost feels like nothing really has been coming out of it. Like the imagery they're showing me is you toiling over a metaphorical garden, and it's like you being frustrated because you poured blood and sweat and tears into something, and it's just like it's not bearing fruit, it's not coming up, it's not growing the way that it was supposed to be. Okay, so that could literally mean your finances overall, pile 1. It could also mean that maybe there's like a promotion you've been working towards at work, or maybe another job that you've been kind of had an eye on, or maybe even a change in career or first job outside of a new degree, something like along those lines. And I want to say, in some way, it felt a little bit risky to even try because of the presence of dangerous pleasure and the tuberose that you chose as your pile leader. Like it says, I'll just repeat the quote, "The secret of reaping the greatest fruitfulness and the greatest enjoyment from life is to live dangerously." You took a risk, pile 1. I feel like you were like, I'm not sure this is the right thing to do, but it feels like the right thing to do. Okay. And 2, because of the prominence of the color yellow, like I was saying, it means happiness. Yes, of course, we think of sunlight and joy, right? But it also means truth being associated with light, because, you know, the old saying, we shed light on something, okay? And so I feel like this opportunity is also something about shedding your truth or living your truth. Unveiling it, I guess, is what I mean by shedding. It's probably a little bit of a better verb to use, right? And so this opportunity coming is going to make you feel a lot more in tune with your purpose, a lot more in tune with what you want, that thing you've been trying to extract so hard from that soil that just seems like it's not bearing any fruit whatsoever. And then boom, all of a sudden, and you're just in the garden of plenty when it felt like famine before. Okay. And 2, what's interesting is that with the Elle Qui card I drew here with Hannah, right, says, "She who listens, understanding, witness, and compassion." This card represents to me who you are in the situation. How do you feel about it, or what you're doing? And by it being like someone who listens and understanding, I almost feel like this particular opportunity is something to do with you listening to others. I don't know if it's like a job regarding like something in like counseling where you listen to people, or like therapy where you listen to other people, or something to do with music, because, you know, we also think of music when we think of the word listen, right, with our ears, or working with people who are deaf, something to do with listening along those lines, especially if it's like a career-oriented thing, pile 1. That, or part of the way the opportunity comes along is you acting as the energy of Hannah here, listening to something. It's like you overhear something and you're like, oh, wait, that's something I can jump on to really get this going and finally get the fruits of my labor that I've been pouring in. Like maybe you overhear someone mentioning, oh, hey, a promotion opened up over in this department. And then you're like, oh, that's where I can go. Or it could be maybe a friend mentions something at their company is like, hey, this new thing opened up over here, this new position. And you're like, oh God, that is perfect for exactly what I want to do. Okay. So it's something to do with you keeping a keen eye, or excuse me, not a keen eye, even a keen ear, out for it, right? From She Who Listens, to understand where that opportunity is coming from. Okay. Beautiful. So yes, just to summarize everything so far, it's a very good opportunity coming that's more aligned with your purpose. And finally, it's like that break of dawn after the night of like, oh man, I've been struggling so hard. I want this thing to work, and it finally just click, it does. And get that opportunity thrown your way. So if you've been struggling recently, pile 1, with like promotions that you've been looking for or trying to go after, or at least having like the opportunity to even open up at the current company that you're at, or like say a different job, things like that. Maybe even like a small business you've been building, that could be another way that this manifests, and maybe it just has taken a while to get off the ground, and then perhaps you listen and you hear someone offering something and you're like, oh, that would be the perfect opportunity for my business. And then you're able to just jump on it. But along the way, it's like you find that there's something about it that helps you glean more about what your true passion is in this area of your life. Okay, so that's what I mean when I say it aligns more with your true purpose, especially with the purification card having come out, right? It's about purifying your intent and purifying what this particular area of your life means to you. So if you're a little bit afraid right now that you took a risk that you shouldn't have, or you're afraid to take a risk, this is saying that there are benefits to be reaped from everything that you've done. Okay, it's coming. The universe might have sounded a little silent for a while, but it's coming. That's what the Nine of Pentacles means, is especially coming after the Eight of Pentacles, which is the hard work card. The Nine of Pentacles is, okay, now I can rest on my laurels a little bit. I finally got there, right? I can enjoy everything that I've put in. It's very interesting because this particular card, and you might not be able to see it on camera, pile 1, but there's a snail here at the bottom. And of course, when we think of snails, we think of things that move very slowly. Slow and steady wins the race. It almost tells me that maybe you've been working on this for a very long time, so it almost feels like, oh God, I'm never going to get there. This is never going to work out. Things like that. But like we said, slow and steady wins the race. It's coming. So actually, we haven't even drawn all your tarot cards yet, so let me do that right now, pile 1. Let's glean that. So Spirit, for pile 1, could you please offer us around 5 cards, just 5, or around there, that explains more about how this comes about and what it looks like trajectory-wise. Thank you. Because, of course, more detail is always helpful, right, pile 1? So first card is Judgment reversed. Okay, yep, feeling like we couldn't level up, feeling like we couldn't move to the next step, feeling blocked by the universe almost. Yeah. It's like, man, I can't move on. I can't get to that point I'm trying to get to. That's the inciting incident. Okay, and then we have Justice. Beautiful. Another major arcana. What is fair? What is just? And then there's the prevalence of the light, like I was saying here at the tip of the sword. A lot about truth. I think you might also, as a part of the opportunity coming, pile 1, you might also get a lot of hindsight into why things weren't working before or why it hadn't come along yet. And that in and of itself is also a gift, because it's like the gift of understanding because of all the prevalence of light in this particular reading. Okay, 7 of Pentacles reversed is the core card. So that's almost like the core emotion of what's going on. And that tells me, so remember I was just talking to you about how we use the garden metaphor. It's like you've been putting all this work in. And in fact, I'll even just flip it around and show you. Literally, this person's gardening or farming. And he's been planting his seeds, but there's these crows behind that are just eating the seeds. Like, tearing up all of his work. And he's like, oh man, how am I going to grow anything out of what feels like such a fallow field? Okay. You planted the seeds, but it's like they just wouldn't come up. They're like, for whatever circumstance or whatever reason, it's just things were not working. Even though it was fair to you to have gained the fruits of your labor, right? And then next up we have the 10 of Cups reversed. Okay, so that's a lack of emotional fulfillment. So you're like, oh God, why is this not working out? I'm not happy. This isn't my happily ever after I imagined it would be. And then let's see the final card. We have the 7 of Swords. Okay. Now that's very interesting to get in this position as the outcome card here, pile 1, because the 7 of Swords is all about deception or trickery or something kind of not being what it seemed. I want to say that that's hearkening back to what I just said about truths being revealed here because of the prevalence of light in yellow. And then even in the Justice card, there's like a light imagery here. There was something as part of the outcome here that you're going to realize, something going on that was deceptive. Okay. I don't know if it was like, I don't want to say, Because here's the thing, the Seven of Swords can also mean that someone was either, like, undermining you a little bit, or it can also mean, like, someone was being sneaky around you, pile one, okay? I almost want to say it could be that it's either the deception of someone else that was causing this unhappiness here, almost like how the crows keep, he's falling behind the guy that's planting all the seeds, and he's like, well, what the heck, why isn't anything coming up? But then there's these crows behind that have just been eating away at his seeds. That's why. Because it's almost like other people were picking up the crumbs that you were trying to plant, or the seeds that you were trying to plant, and it just wasn't working out because of that outside influence, okay? But it can also represent itself in the outcome being like that, some truth being revealed here, especially, too, with the prevalence of justice here towards the beginning. Justice is about, like what it says on the tin, what is fair, what is right, what is karmically correct, okay? And what that tells me is you're going to get your justice with this, pile one. That's the good opportunity coming along. And in the outcome, the good opportunity comes along when that deception is revealed, okay? Either, like, I don't know if you were being underpaid or someone was undermining you, like I said before, I'll just repeat that part. And then it could also be maybe even deception of self, pile one. It can mean that, like, perhaps you, like, something just slipped your mind. Like, the example that they're showing me is almost like you trying to bake a cake, and you're sitting there and you're like, why did the cake not turn out? Why is it not rising? And then you're realizing, oh, duh, I missed an ingredient. I missed, I think it's like baking powder is usually in cake. Correct me if I'm wrong, but, and then you're like, oh, duh. And so it was a deception of, like, you feeling inadequate, feeling like I'm not good enough for this, but really it was just something either out of your control because of someone else deceiving, or a self-deception of, oops, I missed an ingredient, okay? But the good news is, pile one, because this is a reading about what good opportunity is coming, that's going to be solved, and that's going to be fixed, and you're going to be happy about it, because finally you'll realize, oh, it wasn't a me problem, or at least if it was a me problem, it was more along the lines of an oopsie rather than there's something being inherently wrong with what I was trying to do, or what I was, how I was trying to bring it about. Does that kind of make sense, pile one? Things like that. Let's see. I'm trying to glean anything else here. I do want to draw a few extra cards for you. I think the best way to use our time here with the final part of the reading, pile one, is to ask a little bit more about how you will know when this opportunity has come. Kind of like signs to look out for, because I think that's probably the biggest question you might have in mind right now as you're watching this. So, Spirit, could you give us around 3 cards that explains more about what should they look for as a sign that this opportunity has come? Thank you. Or, like, how will it come about? Can you explain more about that? So first up, we have the Ace of Swords reversed. Okay, meaning it's not a new idea, but we'll get more context with the other cards. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles, a new opportunity in the realm of finance or career. Okay, yep. And the Three of Pentacles, teamwork. Remember when I was telling you before, I was like, I think maybe you hear about it, right? With Hannah, with listens. Teamwork. So I'm going to say this, pile one. When you go along in the near future regarding this opportunity, when you're looking out for it and you're like, what the heck, what sign am I supposed to kind of keep an eye out for? Lean on other people, especially because of the Three of Pentacles being about teamwork, okay? Working in tandem with other people. There's someone else that maybe you already work with, is hence why the Three of Pentacles came out, that's going to offer an opportunity or mention it in front of you in the financial realm or career with the Ace of Pentacles, okay? But what's funny is that the Ace of Swords reversed came out as the very first card, you remember, right? And the Ace of Swords reversed is about either lacking an idea, or it's about not going along with a new idea, or it's something that is an old idea. Does that kind of make sense? So I almost want to say it's either that they've already mentioned it before, so it's not a new idea, but maybe you kind of just overlooked it at first, and then later on it clicks and you're like, oh, that's something I can jump on, right? That's an opportunity I can go for. That, or it's like, oh, what's another way to interpret this? One second. I'm going to ask your spirit team here for a moment. It could also mean that it was something that they tried before and it didn't work out. Like maybe they tried to promote someone else to that position, or hire someone else to that position, or, insert your specific situation here and it didn't work out. That's another way to interpret the Ace of Swords reversed. Like, it's just, it's not new in terms of thought, but it's new to you in terms of opportunity here with the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so just keep an ear out and listen to people that you work with or that are in the area where this applies to you, like be it a business or your job, things like that, pile 1. Okay, keep that ear out for that new opportunity. And if it's something that was already mentioned before, and maybe you kind of overlooked it, hence the Ace of Swords reversed, they're telling you, please consider not overlooking it this time. Okay, maybe really entertaining the idea a little bit more. That, or it could also mean that when this comes along, pile 1, part of why the opportunity is offered by this team member here, or someone that you work with, right, is because they're confused and they need ideas for something, and then it clicks with you, and you're the one that gives them the new idea, and they're like, oh, hey, maybe pile 1, aka you, right, would be a good person for this other opportunity I have. It's something along those lines, pile 1. So just keep an eye out, or I should say an ear out for that, right? Beautiful. Yeah. So just to summarize, that's the opportunity that's coming your way. The good opportunity is something you've been working really hard on. You've been wanting success in for a while, I get the feeling. It will be something more aligned with the purity of your intentions, with your purpose in life, things like that. And it'll overcome any unfairness that's been going on in terms of both, what you're getting out of what you already seem to have put a lot into, right? Also unfairness, maybe if there was a little bit of deception here and there going on behind the scenes that you didn't know about, either of self or by other people, okay? But yeah, something to do with listening, paying close attention. Perhaps for some of you, like I said, music, working with the deaf, working with something to do with like listening to people is kind of maybe one area this could apply to some of you, right? And then keep an eye out for that opportunity from the team member with either an old idea or where they're confused and wanting ideas, offer an idea to them, and that will get you the opportunity. Okay. So that's what I'll leave you with, pile 1. Awesome reading, right? Sounds like a good thing coming along. So if you liked the reading, if it resonated with you, please like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition, pile 1, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, my lovely pile number 2. Welcome today to your pick a card reading about a good opportunity that the universe is offering you next. Of course, as you recall, your pile leader was Sweet Pea, and I'll read off the bottom here. It says, blissful pleasure, follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors where there were only walls. Okay, so we'll set this over here next to the pine cone as is custom. And of course, right away, let's draw your oracle cards to glean more about what this good opportunity is. So first up, I'm going to ask your spirit team, could you please guide us to the right card that explains what area of their life for pile 2 this good opportunity manifests in? Thank you. What area of their life? Okay, ooh, I almost dropped the deck. That's a big deck. Okay, so let's see. Gorgeous. We have the World. And the World in Tarot pile 2 is all about good resolutions, good closing chapters to things, or times, or I should say, periods of time in our life. A good conclusion, a good curtain call. Sticking the landing, that's another phrase coming through. Okay, beautiful. So, let's also get some other oracle cards on the matter. So if recently you've been finding that there's been something you want to come to a good conclusion, pile 2, then this is a very good sign for you. Very beautiful. Okay, well, that was quick. We have She Who Loved Once, blue. Fragile, secret love, rejection. And I keep hearing all is well that ends well. Are these sweet peas? Sorry, one moment. She's got flowers in her hands. They almost kind of look like the same colors, but I can't tell if they're also sweet peas. But that's very interesting, pile 2. All's well that ends well, and something to do with perhaps a relationship coming to a good conclusion, or maybe some lingering, or maybe it's like you've been searching for something in a relationship or searching for a relationship and you're hoping that it comes to a good conclusion, like, oh, we're going to get together. Or it could also mean that maybe if there's lingering hurt from a previous relationship, pile 2, this is going to kind of bring it to a good close, or it's going to bring like a good resolution of understanding of, oh, okay, like that's what happened, or that's why, things like that. But let's grab another oracle card before I say for sure. And then, of course, we also have more tarot cards to get to, so. A good conclusion to regrets or rejections or love. Okay. Could also mean love, not just in the romantic way, pile 2. We also have miracles. Okay. So I'm going to say this, pile 2. This, for sure, is about an area of your life where you have been looking for, like I said, a good conclusion or a good curtain call, a good ending or outcome to something, okay? And specifically, it's something along the lines of a regret that you had, or maybe you had a crush on somebody, like it's a secret love here. Maybe there was a relationship that went poorly that you're kind of hoping, you know, maybe we'll get back together. Maybe this person has grown since I last was with them. Or it could also mean something outside the realms of romantic love, right? Because love can mean different things. Platonic, familial, things like that. Maybe a resolution with a family member that you love. Maybe a resolution with a friend that you love closely. Things like that. Maybe you felt like it ended off in a bad way, or you're hoping that there's just at least a little bit of an improvement in some area that brings a bad chapter to a close here, to a good final curtain call. And on top of that, what's interesting is you have the Sacred Destiny card of miracles today over here with the double rainbow. And not only are rainbows a symbol of something good coming after a time of hardship, right? We see rainbows after the rain. That's why they're called rainbows, right? When the sun finally peeks out and scintillates through the raindrops in the atmosphere, that's what causes the rainbow, right? But by having miracles be a key term, this is something that will almost seem miraculous to you. Like you thought this would never come to a right conclusion. Like, oh, there's no way this could go well. There's no way that this is going to end well. There's no way that, you know, we'll make up, or we'll get back together, or they'll like me, or things will resolve in a nice way. You know what I'm trying to say? Something along those lines, pile 2. So if I had to summarize it in one sentence, your good opportunity coming next is a good conclusion to a bad chapter of your life regarding a relationship you have with someone else that will almost seem miraculous in the way that it resolves. There you go, in one full sentence. Let's see if there's anything else I can glean before. I do have tarot cards to draw for you, of course, but because we're going to see more about how that comes to that good resolution with the world. How does it come to a good resolution? Look at your sweet pea here for one moment. Yeah, and it's very interesting because it says with the quote, I'll say it again, follow your bliss and the universe will open doors where there were only walls. It also feels like maybe there was a wall put up between you and this person in the past. Maybe that's part of a disagreement, or maybe like life circumstances kind of just pushed you apart. But then finally that wall will just drop. And then there's that opportunity for the good ending. Okay. Beautiful. And then I'm going to look at the World card just a little bit closer too. This particular deck has a lot of really good details, and I don't want to miss any here for you. I mean, you can just even see the joy in her face as she's sitting there swinging. Like, it's the end to a very good day. She had a picnic, she has her dog and her cat around. It's summer. She's feeling fun and having fun, and she's quite jovial, right? So that's kind of the emotion coming through for how you'll feel when this occurs, pile 2. Like you're just swinging on a swing set. And what's interesting, too, is with the cat and the dog, that also means loyalty, right? Because we think of, at least dogs, we call man's best friend. Very loyal. Actually, what kind of bird is that? One moment. I'm going to look at that, too. It looks like a peregrine falcon to me, specifically, or some kind of bird of prey. Very interesting. And when I think of falcons, too, I think of, like, speed, because those types of birds of prey are very quick about getting to their prey or their goal in mind. So I want to say this is also kind of coming up a little bit more swiftly than you're expecting as well. We'll see what your other tarot cards say, because for sure if you get, like, say, the 8 of Wands, pile 2, that will really confirm that this is coming fast, but beautiful. Yeah, a time of plenty and happiness. Almost childlike joy, too. Definitely a lot of love, you know, and of course in the ways that that can manifest, romantic, familial, and platonic, like I said. So let's draw your tarot cards. Spirit team for pile 2, could you please guide us to 5 different tarot cards around there that explains more about how this comes about and the outcome? Thank you. What's going on here with this good ending? Okay, we have... Well, for sure, that one wanted to come out. Oh, beautiful. So, pile 2, the 5 of Cups reversed literally means overcoming a time of sadness or loss. So that's just another confirmation that this is a good thing coming along, right? Because you're overcoming a sadness. Okay, that's the inciting incident. And then let me shuffle the rest of these cards. Kind of came out between there. Get my hands back around. There we go. Okay. So let us see. We have the King of Wands reversed. Okay. Could have been maybe there was a spat regarding someone had a fiery tongue, someone got angry a little bit, or maybe whatever occurred had knocked your confidence down. That can mean another manifestation of the King of Wands reversed. We have the Moon as the core card. Things are not what they seem. The Moon is all about illusions, pile 2. I almost want to say this is more of a misunderstanding than anything. Misinterpretation, an illusion. And then we have, okay, the Hierophant, tradition, authority, the way things have always been done. Very interesting. We'll see what else pops out with that. And then we have the World. Once again, you got the World twice, pile 2. Literally from 2 different decks, which as the outcome card, once again, just reiterates a good curtain call, curtain close to a situation or a bad chapter of your life. Okay, at least it seems like it was kind of bad before this point, right? So let's look over this. You also have an abundance of major arcana cards. And I always say in my readings, when I see an abundance of major arcana, so for you, it's the Moon, the Hierophant, and the World, that tends to tell me as the reader that this particular thing going on is related to a major life lesson in your path, pile 2. Okay, so this seems to be probably a pretty major thing that occurred or is going to occur. It's not just, you know, an everyday little opportunity of good luck. It seems to be something pretty big in your life, something maybe you've been really wishing for, things like that. Let's see. Very interesting. So yes, overcoming grief, a little bit of an argument, but there was a miscommunication or an illusion. Things were not what they seemed. This is going to sound kind of odd, pile 2, but I almost feel the reason why this good conclusion comes about is because of, and I'm really drawn in by the Hierophant, and like I said, that card means either tradition or like authority in terms of tradition, or sometimes spirituality even. It's like something to do with like an authority over the both of you helps you come to a better resolution. Like say if this is a sibling, maybe a parent steps in, specifically it could be masculine energy because the Hierophant is, like a masculine energy. Or it's like if it's something you've been having an issue like with someone at work, like a boss steps in, or maybe an older friend, not just in age necessarily, but maybe older as in they've been friends with you longer or with them longer than you have been with each other, steps in. It's some kind of authority like that comes along and helps bring this about to this good resolution, with the World being the outcome card. It's like they come along and they break the illusion of what you thought went wrong or the miscommunication here. I want to say, yeah, it's like, I'm pretty sure it's a masculine figure, pile 2, that comes along and helps fixes it. So like a father, a male boss, an uncle, grandfather, something like that. Also, it could mean a spiritual leader. So I don't know if you like go to a spiritual gathering of some sort, like, of course, church is like the first thing I think of, or some sort of spiritual group that you attend, maybe like in a coven or something like that. And this authority figure is the one that brings people together and is like, hey, wait a minute, why are we having this disagreement? Or why are you not together? Like, why are you fighting? Like, and then it's like they inject some kind of wisdom into it, and they tell you, hey, that was an illusion, okay? And that helps bring the clarity, that helps bring that good conclusion that you've been looking for with this particular relationship where you felt like you were rejected, or you felt like you couldn't be together or be friends anymore, however particularly it pertains to you, pile 2. Very interesting. And I also want to say, there's something I keep hearing about it being preordained, like and I think that's maybe just because this is a major life lesson moment because of these major arcana right here, but it's almost preordained in the way of, like, you're meant to be together. You're meant to be friends or partners or close family members, however the relationship is for you specifically. It's like you're not supposed to be apart. It was just a misunderstanding of some sort. And it's like being with this person will bring that happiness, that joviality again, with like the world we see here with the girl swinging. And it's sad in a way, pile 2, because it's like that all could have just been tossed into the trash just because of an illusion here with the moon, a misunderstanding. But this figure comes in and is like, hey, wait a minute. Hey, wait. Come on. We don't need to fight. There was just a misunderstanding. It's going to be okay. And then that person helps usher in the curtain close to this bad chapter that you thought all hope was lost with this particular relationship. Beautiful. And then I also want to conclude the reading with a final question with 3 cards. And I'm trying to think of what's the best question to ask for you, pile 2, because we already kind of know in which way it'll come about because of that authority figure. Let's see. What's a good question to ask? I think the best thing is to ask, what was the truth of the miscommunication? What was actually meant? Let's ask that. So, Spirit Team for pile 2, could you please provide us 3 cards that explains more about the truth behind the miscommunication? Thank you. What was the illusion, or what was the truth behind it, I mean? So we have the Two of Pentacles reversed, okay? Not being able to juggle things, feeling imbalanced in some way. We have Death, another major arcana. Change. And the Six of Pentacles, fairness and charity and generosity. So I asked, what was the truth behind the miscommunication? There was something about someone involved who they were unable to balance things, especially in terms of the physical world around them. It could have been like things like, you know, like say it was a romantic relationship, pile 2, and they were like, hey, I either need to choose my job or this relationship, and they said, I choose my job, and then you were heartbroken because you're like, oh no, like, why can't you juggle all those things together, or something along those lines, applying it to your own particular situation if it's not a romantic relationship for you, pile 2, but, and it's like, it caused a change of some sort. Change born of unable to juggle things. But there was an element of fairness to it with the Six of Pentacles, which is interesting. Of equally distributing things. Of needing to pour time into things equally, especially if it was a relationship. And Death being the Court card is like a needed change because of an imbalance that led to more fairness. I'm also just going to tune in here for one moment. It's very odd. For some reason, they keep bringing forth the color blue. Like a really rich medium blue. I don't know if that means something to you specifically, pile 2. But there's something about like the color blue, like a medium blue. I don't know if it was like the color of a shirt someone was wearing in the situation at hand, or it was like their favorite color, or you associate them with that color. Of course, blue can also mean, like, someone was depressed. Like, we think, oh, someone's blue, like, they're sad. Oh, you know, that reminds me, that's what your Elle Qui was. Her name is Blue. I just realized that. Okay, well, there you go. Something to do with the color blue is prominent. Blue. It almost feels like there's just someone involved that had to, like, sort out their own sadness and needing to rebalance their life, pile 2. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards with this reading of the truth behind it all. The communication, or the miscommunication, I should say. And they needed change to increase the balance, increase the fairness to all involved. But of course, with everything, you know, perhaps they miscommunicated it and it came out wrong. Like maybe they made it seem as if you weren't a priority in their life, even though you are. But it's just like one of those times where they had to step back and say, hey, I gotta focus on making sure I can juggle everything again, okay? So that I can give you my fair time that you deserve. Or your fair time that you deserve, I should say, yeah. And change is the pivotal energy here with Death. And I think the relationship will grow back stronger afterwards, pile 2. Because of the symbolism of the oak growing outside of the skull. Because oak trees are very, of course, if they're, you know, allowed to grow and they're safe, right? Hardwood, very strong trees, especially when they get to be very big, they're very old, okay? So that makes me think of the Hierophant yet again, of like a tradition of some sort, something long-lasting. And so I think you'll find in the end here, pile 2, as harsh as the miscommunication or misunderstanding was, or the separation, you'll realize in the end that it was laying the foundations for the roots of something stronger. And that's part of the good opportunity coming, is the opportunity for something better coming along to replace what was weaker before. Okay. Things like that. So, that is what I'll leave you with today for your reading pile 2. If you liked the reading, if it resonated with you, please like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on the channel, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day, full of good conclusions to things, especially if maybe a particular relationship in your life has been a bit rocky, right? And I hope to see you in the next reading pile 2. All right, bye. Hello there, my lovely pile number 3. Welcome today to your pick a card reading that is all about what good opportunity the universe will offer you next. As you recall, your pile leader today was the flower Amaryllis, and I'll read the tagline and quote at the bottom. It says, "Determination and creative achievement. You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have." And that was Maya Angelou. So, we're going to put that over here next to the pine cone as is tradition, and let's draw your cards to glean more about this good opportunity. So, first up, I'm going to ask Spirit for pile 3. Could you please tell us what area of their life this good opportunity will come from or manifest in? Thank you. What area of their life? Okay, and we have beautiful 9 of Pentacles. You know, actually pile 1 today also got this card. And I'll tell you the same exact thing I told them pile 3. The 9 of Pentacles is a card that is all about reaping the fruits of our labor after we've already poured our blood, sweat, and tears into something. Specifically symbolized in this particular card, or version of the 9 of Pentacles, I should say, of a woman enjoying an orchard, her vineyard, I should say, after she's put all this effort in. And I'll point out the same thing I pointed out to pile 1, too. There's a snail down here. And of course, when we think of snails, we think of animals. Well, I mean, they're pretty slow, right? But like the 9 of Pentacles, it's almost the message of the slow and steady wins the race. So if there's been an area of your life recently where you have been putting a lot of effort into something and it feels like just nothing is coming out of it, you feel like maybe all hope is lost, this was just a sunk cost and I should just leave it behind, this is telling you that there's something coming out of that hard work that you've been waiting for as a part of the good opportunity. So let's draw more cards to glean some more details, pile 3, to see what is going on. Who are you in this situation? We have the Elle Qui of she who doubts a need, fear, wariness, and trust. Yep, that's what I was saying. You're like, I'm not sure this is going to work out. I feel like this was just completely bunk. This is representing you in this situation, pile 3, of the doubt. Fearing that things are not going to work out. Waiting for the other shoe to drop. Okay. And especially, I'll try to glean more about the specific area of your life, though I will say with Pentacles, pile 3, Pentacles tend to represent Earth in Tarot, and Earth in Tarot is all about finances and career and the material things around us. So it could be your job, career in general. It could be to do with your money situation. It could also mean to do something with like your home situation. Sometimes that's how the Pentacles represent themselves, or manifest, I should say. So let's see. And then Sacred Destiny. Right there we have the card of change. A change. Maybe it literally means change as in money, right? Or you've been seeking a change, or, well, we're telling you what's coming is change. So to summarize everything so far, pile 3. Something you've been working very hard on, you've been wanting success out of. You're hoping it changes, right? Hence change. And still, though, there's a part of you that really doubts that it's coming along. It's something you've been very worried or fearful about because of this particular card representing you in this situation, right? And what's interesting is the card you chose for your pile leader with determination and creative achievement. not only does that reflect the determination that I feel like you've literally had in this situation of trying to get this thing off the ground or get it running or find that success that you're looking for, but creative achievement also tells me too that maybe this is to do with like a creative hobby of yours that maybe you've been trying to turn into like a business or something that requires your creativity or would be a creative achievement when it comes to fruition because of the, Nine of Pentacles, meaning fruits of your labor, right? So, yeah. See if there's anything else I can glean before I also want to draw some other tarot cards, of course, but... And they keep saying something about the wind turning pile 3. Like, finally having favorable winds is what's coming out. Favorable winds. And positive change. And something about a dream born aloft is a phrase that keeps coming out. A dream born aloft. Taking flight, getting off the ground. I almost wonder if it's something you've been trying to get off the ground, pile 3. And you're like, God, I gotta make sure that this actually can fly. But so far it just hasn't, and you've been frustrated. But then finally this good opportunity comes along, and then whoosh, finally it's flying like you wanted it to. Very beautiful. Let me draw your tarot cards right now to glean more about the actual situation at hand. So Spirit Team for pile 3s, their highest, best good. Can you please tell us? 5 cards saying what occurs, how does this go, and what's the outcome? Thank you. What's going on? So the inciting incident is the Page of Pentacles reversed. Okay. A lack of opportunity in exploring the financial or the career areas of your life. Okay. So definitely I'm getting a feeling this is something to do with job or finances, pile 3, for you. Okay. Because of the Pentacles that keep coming out. And then we have, okay, yep, another Pentacles. We have the Knight of Pentacles, or Wheels, in this particular deck. Remember what I said? Slow and steady wins the race with the snail. That's also what the Knight of Pentacles means. The Knight of Pentacles represents someone who goes about things methodically and carefully, with a little bit more entrenched earth energy being in the pentacle suit, okay? Determination, more stubborn about it, right? You've been working really hard despite the trials, pile 3, and I also just want to say your spirit team wants to commend you for that because they know it's been really difficult finding opportunities, but they see you plodding along and they're like, okay, we understand how much effort you've been putting in, so they're commending you for that. And then, okay, interestingly, core card is the Two of Cups reversed. Disharmony in a relationship. Then we have the Ace of Swords, a new idea, and then the outcome at the very end is the King of Swords. Beautiful. So, pile 3, let's take a gander at these cards right here. Interesting. I feel like part of it, too, is your relationship with something has been at stake, pile 3, that you've been worried about. It could literally mean that this business or job finance related thing is very deeply connected to a relationship that you're in. Maybe it's like finances with a partner. It just is one example. Or maybe a business partner. And it's been causing a little bit of a rift in the relationship because this thing just isn't going the way that you expected in terms of finances or career. Because the Two of Cups reversed being the core card of the situation tells me that there's like a relationship disharmony at the root of a lot of this, or that's a lot of it is revolving around is maybe a better way to put that. And but you've been working hard. You've been that Knight of Pentacles, pile 3. You're getting it. You're getting there. Putting in the effort. It's not like it hasn't been, like you've been slacking whatsoever. It's just a lack of opportunity. But then what comes along is the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords represents a new idea or a new way of thinking. Something, I almost want to call the Ace of Swords, I often call it the light bulb moment card. Okay, it's like a light bulb. Where, ding, suddenly this idea comes along and you're like, oh, that's something that I can follow. That's the good opportunity coming, is that light bulb moment that leads you to the fruits of your labor and enjoying getting out what you all obviously have put in with that effort of the Knight of Pentacles, right? And then the outcome card here, pile 3, is the King of Swords. And the King of Swords represents someone who is intelligent, someone who is logical, someone who speaks well. It could be that this is something to do with a career or job or finances related thing where it's very interesting. It's like it helps you speak for yourself in some way. Maybe it's like because of the prestige that, like, say a promotion brings you, you have more opportunity to speak more or have more say in things, because swords is the suit of air, which is communication and intelligence in tarot, right? And or it's like it brings about the opportunity for you to have just more authority in things too. For things to work out more logically than they have been so far. Very interesting here, pile 3. And then I will ask extra questions for you, or at least one. I want to ask what the new idea that comes in is, or where does it come from? Because I think part of recognizing a good opportunity, pile 3, is understanding where it's coming from so that you can look out for it along the way, right? You know what to look for. Because sometimes we miss things when we don't know what to look for. And that's part of it. So I'm going to ask that, pile 3. Spirit team, for pile 3, could you tell us a little bit more about where this new idea comes from? Like, what's going on when the new idea comes about, or where does it pop out of? We have the Six of Swords reversed. Okay. Interesting. Not moving on in some way. We have the Ace of Pentacles reversed, a lack of opportunity, and the Sun, truth and happiness. The new idea comes because, let's take a look. I want to say, pile 3, the new idea is born out of you realizing a truth regarding why there has been a lack of new opportunities and a lack of, or being unable to move in some way. Because the Six of Swords reversed is about being kind of stuck in some sort of way, or stuck in some place, right? And a lack of ability to change that, lack of opportunity with the Ace of Pentacles reversed. But then the Sun comes out and it's like, boom, there's the truth that brings me to happiness and the light, shedding light on things, because another meaning of the Sun, right? Seeing things more clearly. And then once you get that fresh perspective, that's where the idea comes in and you're like, oh, that's what's been holding this back. That will bring me the financial or career opportunity, as well as, seems like maybe a little bit more relationship harmony here with the Two of Cups reversed we talked about earlier being the core card, right? So when you're looking for a way out of the situation that you're in right now that will bring you to this fruits of your labor fruition, like we were talking about with the Nine of Pentacles, right? Pile 3. Be on the lookout or pay close attention to really unveiling the truth behind why things haven't been coming to fruition in the first place. And I know that's easier said than done, because a lot of times when we're stuck in a certain rut in life, right? Part of the reason we're stuck there is because we don't know how to get out. And part of the reason we don't know how to get out is because we don't know what's causing it in the first place, right? But there's something to do with... Yeah, it's like a truth unveiled. And I think that's also why your King of Swords that came out earlier here, pile 3, because as the outcome, it's like you're wise and you're intelligent about it. There's so much about truth and smarts here. Thinking things through logically and smartly and with cleverness. And that will bring about the light and the truth about why that you've been like lacking this opportunity. And that will give you the Ace of Swords new idea to get out of this rut. Okay. And then I do want to ask, I'm actually going to ask an extra question for you today, pile 3, because we do have some extra time. The final question I want to ask for you is, what is the truth of that Sun card? What is the truth? Because I think that will also help. Because I want you to leave this reading having the most information you need possible to come to that realization, because that's what'll spur the good opportunity coming. So, Spirit, could you give us 3 cards about what is the truth of the Sun card? What's the truth that you're wanting them to realize? What's the truth? Okay, that card almost came out, but not quite. We have the Page of Wands. Okay, exploring our passions. The Chariot, determination, drive, and control. And the Ace of Cups reversed. Okay. Something to do with a relationship or not recognizing a new emotion. Very interesting. So the truth that they want you to come to, pile 3, is something to do with... what's the best way to put it? There's something to do with your drive and your passion for whatever this thing is. Okay. Because the Page of Wands is someone who explores a new passion or creativity of theirs. What do you really want out of this? What are you really exploring? What's the true motivation driving this, pile 3? What drives you as a person? These are questions to ask yourself. And I almost want to say, because of the Ace of Cups reversed, there's something you're going to realize about the relationship we talked about earlier that's entwined with this financial or career-related thing, or could also be like a housing-related thing. There's something about the relationship that you're going to realize. I think it could even be about the drive or the passion of the other person involved, especially if it's a business partner, pile 3. Yeah. Are they really as enthused as they say they are? Are they really as driven as they say they are? Do they have as much control over the situation? Because that's another interpretation of the Chariot, is the control we have over things like the charioteer has over the horses driving the cart, right? How much control do they actually have? How much drive do they actually have? And the Page of Wands can also mean someone who is new to a certain passion. I almost wonder if you kind of took someone under your wing a little bit, but you're wondering, do they really have the drive that they need for this? And it's like, that's that moment of realization, or it's like within yourself, what your own drive is with this. And that's the truth that will bring about the new idea that will bring the success. Okay? So ask those questions. What's their drive? What's my drive? What control do they or I have? Do we have control? And that's the truth that'll bring about the new idea. That will completely unblock the blockages you've been having. And then you'll be able to go forward in the situation with a lot more knowledge and logic, understanding what's really driving the gears behind the scenes of this machinery that's going on, the things that are churning. And then boom, achievement. That's what will bring about the change. That's what will bring about the Nine of Pentacles, the success of everything that you put all this effort into, pile 3. Okay, that's what they're telling me. So keep an eye out for that. Ask those questions of yourself and everyone else involved in this situation, okay? And that's what I'll leave you with today, pile 3. So if you liked the reading, if it resonated, please like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. That just helps me out a little bit, which helps me provide more readings for both you and others in the future. And as is our tradition on the channel, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope to see you in the next reading, pile 3. Bye.